Eagles football is finally back. The Philadelphia Eagles are taking the field in just a few moments. Actually, it looks like they're taking the field now-ish as they get set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals in the first of 3 preseason games this year. Welcome to Bird's Nest Media's live coverage of the Eagles hosting the Cincinnati Bengals here in this preseason week 1. I'm Joe Donahue. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Let me show me my mic here. It kind of got jostled today, so there we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Yeah, we're right now, we're just hanging out here. We're just a few minutes away from this Eagles preseason getting underway here. The game is being broadcast live on NBC 10 as well as in other locales, so if you're around, definitely make sure that you check those out. But as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join this broadcast. It's been a while since I've been live here. I appreciate everybody's support over the course of the last little while. Definitely had some interesting moments. We're just kind of hanging out here. So hopefully you've had a chance to follow some of the preseason, some of the training camp stories, because that really does wind up becoming helpful. If you didn't catch any of that, yesterday I had the opportunity to talk with John Marks. So that episode is live of the Bird's Nest podcast. So definitely you can feel free to check that out as well. Just working here. This kind of got some of these details. There were a few technical problems getting everything set up. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to live stream here. We haven't really, I don't think we've been live since the Eagles played the Packers in the postseason. So a lot has definitely happened since this Eagles team, or since we were last live. Obviously the Eagles went on and won their next playoff games and won the Super Bowl, and the Eagles have had we had the draft, we had free agency, there's been a lot going on, so it's not like it's been that. It's just kind of been one of those things that we kind of got away from doing some of the live stuff, but I always try to do it for games, so and today is the first game. Yeah. So we see for the first time this preseason Scott Graham and Ross Tucker. Scott and Ross obviously are the Eagles preseason broadcasters So we will see them over the course of this next these next couple of weeks, certainly. I would be very, very ready if you are an Eagles fan. Be ready to start learning a lot of our backups because we probably will not be seeing starters today. So just something to be mindful of in that regard. This game, A, doesn't count, and B, could present, it's full pads, so injury opportunity for those guys, certainly. So, again, I would not expect for us to really see any backup or any starters today. The Bengals will likely play starters. So that's there. But yeah, we'll see a lot of vanilla, but we'll start to see a little bit about how Kevin Patullo, the new Eagles' new offensive coordinator, might call a game, right? Might make play calls. So we will certainly see a lot of that as well. I'm still working on some of the technical stuff. So, if you're just joining us, again, I appreciate you hanging out here. Again, we're just kind of waiting for the game to kick off here. It is the Eagles' first preseason game, and we are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals today. So we'll probably see the Bengals around for probably see the Bengals out there for a bit. We'll get to see a few things in action. Obviously, we'll see we will certainly see the new kickoff rules that are in play. So we'll see those. We'll see how the Eagles start to adapt to that because that's definitely a interesting situation there, right? Because if you kick the football now through the back of the end zone, they're going to get the ball at the 35. So that's more than a third of the field given up on a touchback. So we will certainly see that, how the Eagles plan to adjust for that, certainly. If you're watching, feel free to drop a comment. I'm going to try to certainly want to hear from you, but certainly if you drop a comment about your thoughts about the game, any hopes that you'd like to see, any players that you'd like to see stand out. Maybe, this is going to be an opportunity for some of the second stringers, maybe some third stringers to earn spots on the 53-man roster. So drop a comment. Love to hear from you. And obviously, if you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Please feel free to share. Really helps the channel out. So, yeah. We are just a few minutes away. We're in a commercial break right now, so they're advertising NRG, which obviously is an Eagles sponsor. So we're just kind of hanging out right now. They're showing some training camp highlights. The game's being broadcast locally on NBC 10. So just something there. They're showing they're promoting the Eagles All Access thing here. It is 78 degrees with humidity at 54% down at Lincoln Financial Field. Winds are coming from the east at about 8 miles an hour. And we are getting set to go. Looks like the Eagles are going to kick this ball away first. Just based off of what I'm looking at here. So it looks like the Bengals will get the ball to start. Friend of the show, Dave Spadaro, hanging out on the field doing the sideline reporting. You can see his Super Bowl ring on in the shots of him, so that's pretty cool. All right, Jake Elliott's out there doing some warm-up kicks. They're about ready to get this thing underway, and Eagles football just about back in action here. And Elliott gives it the boot. And that is going to get fielded at about the 5, gets brought out to the 10, 15, to the 20, up to the 25, almost up to the 30-yard line before getting dropped. And that is number 81 of the Cincinnati Bengals there on that. So that would be Burton on that return. It's a good 24-yard return, brings Cincinnati up to the 29-yard line, and that's where they will start with first and 10. 14:53 left to play in the first quarter. So the Bengals are using some of their starters. We got Joe Burrow lining up in the gun. We've got a back to his left. Burrow stands there, calls for the football, hands it off, and that's going to go up and gets about 5 yards there on that carry, and that is Brown on that carry. So that is going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Bengals. Gets up to the 34-yard line. All right, 2nd and 5, 14-17 left in the first quarter. Burrow in the gun takes a snap. He's back, he's looking, throwing up across the middle, off the hands and incomplete, looking for Higgins there on that reception. But it was off his hands and bounced off incomplete. So that is going to bring up 3rd and 5 situations. We got a third and short for the Cincinnati Bengals. Clock is stopped at 14:11. Burrow still in the gun. We've got it back to his right. Burrow takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw, and that is going to be complete down the right sideline for a first down. That is Jamar Chase picks up a good chunk of yards there. Gets up to the 46. So that is a solid 12-yard pickup for the Bengals, and that will bring up a 1st and 10. He was forced out by Adoree Jackson. 13:46, 45 left in the first quarter. Burrow in the gun, back to his right. Burrow takes a snap, hands it off, and there goes Brown again, and he's going to get a good chunk there. Gets up to about the 45-yard line. Or gets down to, they're going to officially mark him down to the 46. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 2 for the Bengals. So yeah, a lot of young guys out there. All right, so we got Burrow now in the gun, back to his left. Burrow takes a snap, fakes the handoff, throws, it's caught, and that is going to be for a first down. Goes Jamar Chase, gets up to about the 40-yard line. That's about a 6-yard pickup, and it does move the chains. Move the chains is obviously a metaphor because the NFL is utilizing the new Hawkeye technology. So there are chains there to provide a visual aid, but the chains are not the official measurement unless the Hawkeye technology fails. So let me know your thoughts about that. Love to hear from you. Burrow lines up under center, back deep in the backfield. We got wide out to the near side. Burrow takes a snap, back, looking, throwing, and that is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Jamar Chase. It was well covered by Kelly Ringo, And Smile Mondon was also crashing in on there. But actually, it looks like they're going to say he was inbounds there. So that is a first down for the Bengals. 1st and 10. Bengals, Burrow takes a snap, dumps it off quick to Brown. Brown's going to run up to the outside, and that is going to bring up a 2nd and 1. They do get inside the 10-yard line there, so it gets up to about the 8. That was, that looked close. Looked very close there. They're showing the replay of that catch. It was a really good catch by Jamar Chase there. Wound up being a 23-yard pickup for the Bengals. So we got a 2nd and 1. Burrow takes a snap, hands it off to Brown. Brown's going to pick up more than enough. He's going to get about 2 on that. So that is going to bring the Bengals down to the 6-yard line and brings up 1st and goal. We've got about 11-11, 11-10, 11-09, 11-08, 11-07 left in this first quarter here. Bengals knocking on the door for the first points of the preseason. Burrow in the gun, back to his left. Burrow takes a snap, back, looking, and he's going to get some pressure. He's throwing. We do have our first flag of the game, and that is going to be thrown into the back of the end zone for a touchdown to Jamar Chase. That is, of course, pending the outcome of this flag. The flag is in the offensive backfield, and it is going to go against the Bengals, so that is going to negate the penalty, or that's going to negate the touchdown there. It is a chop block, so they got the Bengals for a chop block. They got Patrick on that. So if you had chop block on your bingo card today, got one of their linemen for that. So the touchdown was, in fact, nullified by the penalty there. Again, appreciate you guys stopping by. If you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. Burrow lines up in the gun. That did cost the Bengals 15 yards. So it's 1st and goal from the 21. Burrow takes a snap, does a quick dump off, and that is going to be complete down inside the 15 around the 10-yard line. They will mark him down at the 12. So that is going to bring up a 2nd and goal situation from the Eagles' 12-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup. It was a quick dump off to Jones. He was brought down by Adoree Jackson. So we're at 10-10, 10-09, 10-08 left in the first quarter. We've got Burrow in the gun. We've got a back to his right. Burrow takes the snap. He's back. He's looking, throwing, caught, and that is going to be down inside the 5, down to about the 1-yard line. They are going to say he's in for the touchdown, and that was Hudson on the reception. He's short there. He is short. That ball did not cross the plane. So they're obviously gonna take a look at that. You can't challenge it. This is under review. But it looks like it was definitely close. Now they're gonna say it stands. All right. So first points of the game go to the Cincinnati Bengals. And their line up for the extra point snap hold kick is up, and it is good. With 9:56 left to play in the first quarter, the Cincinnati Bengals take an early lead. It is the Cincinnati Bengals 7. Eagles still have yet to touch the football. So I would have concerns about how the Bengals were moving the football down the field if it wasn't for the fact that the Eagles are not playing their starters and the Bengals are. So that's just something to be mindful of, is we're not we're probably not going to see a lot of the Eagles starters. We're going to be seeing people who are fighting more so for roster spots. We may be seeing a few folks who might be fighting for a starting position. So again, for example, Adoree Jackson is fighting for a position. So he was out there. Kelly Ringo, Smile Mondon, folks that could be fighting for positions for starting positions. Especially in light of the Jacorian Bennett trade. Every Eagles corner who was on the roster at the time that trade happened should be feeling the hot seat a little bit, even if it might be more of a depth signing. We'll see, obviously, what happens in that regard. Obviously, feel free again. Let me know what you think in the comments, in the chat. I'd love to hear from you over the course of this game. There are going to be a few more probably technical hiccups today. I have a little Stream Deck, and the Stream Deck loaded up all the buttons that I would normally do, but the buttons don't work. So that's something we are going to be playing with that over the course of the next week as we get closer to. I mean, we still got 2 more preseason games, and then we'll have plenty of time. Obviously, the Eagles will be getting started with their. Or we'll be kicking the season off in a couple weeks on September 4th. So obviously that game's going to be one that we're going to live stream. And yeah, we're going to try to get as many of those live streamed as possible for you. Super Bowl MVP hanging out there on the sideline. Jalen Hurts just kind of chilling there. He is not playing. He's not even dressed. So that's going to be kicked off, and that's going to be fielded and brought back up to about the 25-yard line. Goes Williams there on that. So McPherson dropped a 65-yard kick, and Williams brought that out to the Eagles' 25-yard line. And now we see Tanner McKee joining the field. So McKee is going to line up everybody. And now McKee's in the gun with a back to his left. Takes a snap, hands it off, and that's going to churn up about a couple yards. There goes Will Shipley. Will Shipley probably going to be the Eagles' second back. So let me get the possession thing switched over here. So we got McKee now. Again, he's in the gun. Shipley to his right. McKee takes a snap, throws across the middle, and that is going to be caught and brought down just at the 41-yard line. Goes Jahan Dotson on that reception. So Jahan Dotson getting in the action there. And we are just at about the 9-minute mark here. That was a 12-yard pickup and a nice, good little out route there by Dotson. So. Hey, Systrom, how's it going? Yeah, it definitely has been a hot minute. All right, McKee under center, takes a snap. He hands it off to Shipley. Shipley's breaking free, gets across midfield, goes down to the 40, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20-yard line. Goes Will Shipley. Will Shipley. This guy does nothing but impress me, right? Like, if Saquon Barkley weren't on the team, which he absolutely is correct to be on the team, but yeah, I mean, like, Will does do a really impressive job, and I do expect them to be relying on him very, very heavily. But yeah, so Systrom, it's great to see you here in the chat. It definitely has been a hot minute. All right, we got McKee in the gun back to his right. McKee takes the snap, hands it off to Shipley. Shipley is going to get up to the line of scrimmage, and that doesn't do anything. That is going to pick up maybe one. They will credit him for 1 yard. So 2nd and 9 for the Eagles from the Bengals 20. So the Eagles now officially in the red zone. So here we go. 2nd and 9. McKee in the gun. Shipley to his left. McKee takes a snap. He's back. Looking. Throws. Caught by Dotson. Down inside the 10. Down to the 5. Down to the 4-yard line goes Dotson. And that's going to bring up a 1st and goal situation. They will only credit him to the 5. So it is a 15-yard pickup for Jahan Dotson there. But, yeah, did a good job there creating a little bit of separation. And then just ran a little bit of a crossing route. And yeah, all kinds of good stuff there. Eagles knocking on the door. 6:50 left in the first quarter. McKee in the gun. Pistol formation. McKee takes the snap. Dumps it off to Shipley. Shipley gets a couple there. Gets about 3. Cowboys fan, yeah. I mean, I really don't know what to expect from the Cowboys either, other than like a nice show in the offseason for you there. Yeah, the Commanders are a strong team, obviously. Your team was not helped by Micah Parsons over the course of the last couple weeks. Pistol formation. McKee takes the snap, dumps it off to Shipley. Shipley is going to pick up about 2 there. So that is going to bring up a 3rd and goal from the 1 situation. Oh, I know the curse. Because the Eagles were the last team to repeat as NFC East champions. And that was at the early start of the 2000s. I remember that very, very well. That was in the early days of my fandom. So I remember watching that team win the NFC East multiple times, get to the NFC Championship game multiple times, finally win, and then lose to Tom Brady in Super Bowl 39, and there has not been a repeat since. McKee takes a snap, hands it off to Shipley, and Shipley is going to get brought down just shy of the goal line. So we will see what the Eagles decide to do here. Yep. I know it all too well there. All right, we got 5, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 left in the first quarter here. Eagles are going to line up. They're going to do a little... We got a brotherly shove with Tanner McKee. McKee's going to take the snap, and he's in. He's in. He is absolutely in. He's in. Yup, they're signaling he's in. We have a touchdown. We have a touchdown for the Eagles. It is a brotherly shove, tush push. Thank God it's still around. Tanner McKee gets shoved into the end zone there. And Tanner McKee is not a small dude either, right? Like, I mean, we make a big deal about how Jalen Hurts can bench 600 pounds or can squat 600 pounds, but Tanner McKee is not a small guy either. He's a really big guy. Yeah, I don't think Trey's in. Elliott takes the kick, snap, hold kick is up, and it is good. 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter, and we are knotted up at 7. Yeah, hang on for me 1 second here, because I've got a... Trey Hendrickson. See, since he's on defense, I haven't seen him quite as much. So I can't really answer your question there, Sistrom. But yeah, absolutely, we can totally laugh at the mess that is the much of the AFC North. Yeah. We're just having fun, right? And that's what the preseason's all about, is to have fun. We get to see some guys just making what could potentially be their only starts in an NFL game. We get to see a bunch of folks fight for spots on the 53-man roster. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the Browns, I will admit I haven't followed the Browns storyline very closely. Because I mean, we don't face them this year. And even when we do, it's kind of, I mean, it's easier to track down that kind of stuff, but I'm loosely aware of what's going on over there. Hey, you know what? I mean, the Browns might wind up getting a 7th and trading for Kirk Cousins. I don't know. That would be hilarious if that actually happened. That was a 9-play, 75-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock for the Eagles there. So Jake Elliott is going to be lining up. Yeah, Jason Kelsey has been spotted at Eagles training camp doing some assistance there. We're getting a shot now of the Eagles chairman and CEO Jeffrey Lurie talking with somebody in his box. Jake is going to give that a nice little boot, and that's going to get fielded right at the goal line. Gets brought out to the 10, up to the 15, 20, 25, 30, up to the 35-yard line. So, I mean, not a good showing there by the special teams in that regard. I don't know how many of those guys were starters on special teams, but not a good showing there. That was a 34-yard officially return because it was fielded officially at the 1-yard line. So it is 1st and 10 for the Bengals at their own 35. They're showing Jahad Campbell highlights. Brought down by Andre Sam. All right, Burrow's in the gun, back to his right. Burrow takes a snap, does a quick dump off to Brown. Brown's going to get up to the first down marker, gets a bunch more there. Gets up to about the 47-yard line, and that will be Bengals first down. So, there we are. Things just churning along here, folks. Jahad Campbell is the first Eagles linebacker drafted in the first round since 1999, so a little fun fact for you. Burrow lines up under center, Brown deep in the backfield. Burrow takes a snap, quick dump off to Brown. Brown is going to roll to the outside and cuts up field, gets across midfield, gets down to about the 46. Gets into Eagles territory. That's going to bring up 2nd and 4. Who are all the new QBs that are starting? Not 100%, again, not 100% sure. If they're starting Shador, then that'd be interesting. Yeah. We can do some research on that. All right, Burrow, under center, back deep in the backfield. Burrow takes a snap. He's back, he's looking. There's an obvious hold that was not called. But does a quick dump off to Brown, and Brown is going to get brought down just shy of the goal line. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. But there was an obvious hold, like one of the Eagles players was being obviously held. So, yeah, this is it. So this is interesting. Chase Brown and Sidney Brown, both brothers. Yeah, we can do some research on that system. And if you want to also drop that in the chat too, that'd be cool. All right, Burrow, under center, takes a snap. Does a quick handoff to Brown. Brown is going to break forward and gets to the first down marker. So it is going to be a 3-yard pickup. We do have another flag, though, so we'll check in on this flag. And it is going to be illegal use of hands to the face by the defense. So they got Campbell on that. They got Jahad Campbell, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Gets up to marches the. Yeah, that is hands to the face. That is definitely hands to the face there. All right, cool. All right, we got Burrow in the gun now. Back to his right. Slot to the far side. Burrow takes a snap, does a quick dump off, and that is going to be caught. And down is Jamar Chase down inside the 10 to the 5 touchdown. 10-5 touchdown goes Jamar Chase, and that is going to give the Bengals the lead. Once again. That was Kelly Ringo defending that and was playing him a little bit soft there. Plus, Chase got a little bit of separation. So, 2:28 left in the first quarter. Clock is stopped right now. We do, because they're going to do the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. With 2:28 left to play in the first quarter, the Bengals have taken the lead once again. It is the Cincinnati Bengals 14, the Philadelphia Eagles 7. Okay, Cam Ward starting for the Titans. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. Now, yeah, I am fully appreciative of the fact that the Eagles are not really starting any of their starters, right? Like, there's been some discussion about that over the last couple of days. It's always a conversation topic among fans who are going to the game. And I totally get it, the disappointment for fans who are going to the game, right? Because we do want to see those guys. We want to see, we want to see those players, and we're not paying any less for the tickets. But simultaneously, like, taking the long view, oh, absolutely. There is no reason why Jalen Hurts should be starting this game when Jalen Hurts played 4 more games than Joe Burrow did. So, Colts alternating between Richardson and Jones. Neither of them new, but hilarious anyway. Okay, yeah, potentially. Yeah. Alrighty. We're waiting to come back here. Broadcasters today for NBC 10 are the Eagles broadcasters, so that's going to be Scott Graham and Ross Tucker in the event you're watching on NBC 10. Eagles sideline reporter is friend of the show, Dave Spadaro, who has been very generous with his time and coming on the Bird's Nest podcast, so always love seeing Dave. This is getting kicked away, and it's going to get fielded about the 7, gets brought out to the 20, up to the 25, up to the 27-yard line before he gets pushed back. And that is, who was that on the return there? That was Ainias Smith. So, Ainias Smith there on the return. And we've got 2:22 left in the first quarter. Yeah, I think so. All right, Tanner McKee, 2:22, takes a snap, back looking, throws down the near sideline, and that is going to be caught for a first down. Is Wilson on the reception there? That is Johnny Wilson. That's a 27-yard pickup, and he's using every inch of his body to get above the defender there, to get above Newton to catch that football, because that almost was a pick if that was just a hair lower. All right, so McKee lines up under center, back in the backfield. McKee takes a snap, fakes to Shipley. He's got time. He's rolling to his right. He's going to throw, and that is going to be caught and running right out of bounds, but it is a reception. Who was that? That was number 41, I thought I saw there. Darius Cooper, wide receiver Darius Cooper. Yep. Ran out of bounds. That was a 15-yard pickup there. So, and they had Wilson on the coverage. Okay, yep. Rogers starting for the Steelers. Kind of not surprised there. McKee in the gun, back to his left. McKee takes a snap. Is going to hand it off to Shipley, and Shipley's going to get up to about the 30-yard line of the Bengals, and that's going to be it. So, it's going to be 2nd and 9 from the Bengals 30. We're inside the final minutes. So we'll probably only see one more play in this quarter. Barring anything crazy like running out of bounds or an incomplete pass or anything like that. McKee in the gun, Shipley to his right, slot to the near side. McKee takes a snap, he's back, looking, throws, and that is going to be caught by Shipley. Picks up about 4 as he's getting over to the far side. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 situation, and that will indubitably push us to the end of the first quarter here. I don't see the Eagles running another play in this. Jets will be starting Fields. Okay, cool. All right, and we are at the end of the first quarter. So with the 15 minutes of play through, the Eagles are knocking on the doorstep, but down a touchdown. It is the Bengals 14, Eagles 7. Yeah, you should check the Saints. Yeah, Seahawks. I was confused there for a second. There, Seahawks start the preseason against the Raiders. They start the regular season. It looks like against the Steelers in a couple. No. I'm sorry, my bad. They start the Seahawks start the regular season against the 49ers. So. Also, the Saints haven't made it. I'm sure the Saints have not made a decision yet, just a heads up. Because the Saints, I mean, all these guys. I mean, the Saints don't play till Sunday. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are so far in the comments. Any players standing out to you as you're checking out this game? Yeah, it's been there. I mean, obviously we're gonna see vanilla offenses. Obviously we're gonna see a lot of we're gonna see things that maybe wouldn't necessarily be part of it normally, but yeah, I mean we see a lot of offense, or we see a lot of vanilla offenses, vanilla defenses. We're going to obviously not seeing starters from the Eagles. But yeah, there's been some good stuff. I did like, as I mentioned, Johnny Wilson getting some serious ups in that. I do like seeing Will Shipley being utilized and getting some of that some more in-game experience. Yeah. So we are back. It's the start of the second quarter. Eagles are at the Bengals 26. McKee's in the gun. We have a back lined up to his left. We got two receivers to the near side and the slot to the far side. McKee takes a snap. He's back. He's going to roll to his right, and he's just going to throw, and that was almost thrown away, but Grant Calcaterra was there to try to grab it. It was in and out of his hands, so that's not a good look for Calcaterra, but that is going to bring up a 4th down and 5 situation for the Eagles from the Bengals 26. So we might see what the Eagles decide to do here, whether or not they send Jake Elliott out or what have you. Yeah. Yeah, no, he doesn't survive the ground there. Alrighty. Yep, so Jake Elliott is on to kick a field goal. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. And with 14:48 left to play in this first half, the Eagles settle for 3. They are down by 4. It is the Bengals 14, the Eagles 10. If you are new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. We try to bring you as much Eagles content and as much NFL content as possible. We've had some really good interviews over the last couple of weeks with some Eagles folks, people who are part of Eagles Nation, as they say. We had just a couple weeks ago, noted Eagles fan and host of The Lead on CNN, Jake Tapper, stopped by. So we had him. We just had an interview that went out yesterday with John Marks, as well as a very good friend of the show and friend of mine, as well as Dalton Holland from 302 Birds. So he does he does Eagles content for that channel as well. So definitely feel free to check that out. Yeah, and we've got plenty more stuff coming down the pipeline for you as well. We're going to try to get you as many Eagles live streams as possible. As I was mentioning, and as Systrom and I were talking, it's been a hot minute since we've had these, but it definitely feels good to be back in the saddle. So, yep, the banana ball video was a ton of fun. Yeah, that was a little bit of like, hey, also this is happening here, right? Like that was kind of right in that sweet spot of like, there's not really a ton of Eagles content coming out, but training camp had kind of just started. So I was able to make that work. But yeah, that was a ton of fun to be able to cover that. Yeah. And then also we have an eye on the Olympics as well. So just as things develop with that, because as we know, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in a couple years. So that's the other big area of focus that I try to keep tabs on. So the other big football area now. We got sideline conversations going on. Jake Elliott is on to kick this away. And that is going to get fielded at the 1, gets brought out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, up to the 25, to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30-yard line. Hoot goes somebody. I apologize. There is a flag down, so we are going to have to check on the flag. My little flag indicators are not working right now. It is going to be holding against the Bengals, so that's definitely coming way back. That was a monster return, but most of that's going to get nullified. So talking with Lane Johnson right now on NBC 10's broadcast, so he's doing a little bit of a conversation with the Eagles broadcasters. Yeah, they got Grandy for offensive holding of the Bengals, so that was enforced at the 30-yard line of the Bengals. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bengals from their own 20. So that negates what would have been a 71-yard return. Brought down by Sam, by the way, there. So, Burrow in the gun, takes a snap, dumps it off. I'm sorry, that's not Burrow. That's Browning. My bad. Browning dumps it off, and that's going to be about a 9-yard pickup. Gets dumped off to Hudson. Gets up to the 29-yard line there. So, all right, so now we got Browning in the gun. It's a pistol formation. Browning takes a snap, dumps it off, and that's going to be about a 1-yard pickup there, maybe 2. But it definitely should be enough to get the first down. Yeah, it is going to be officially a 2-yard pickup, so they get officially up to the 31-yard line. That would be Brooks on the carry, and that is going to bring up a 1st and 10 situation for the Cincinnati Bengals from their own 31-yard line. We're at about 13 and a half minutes there. Landon Dickerson is eating an Uncrustable on the sideline. That's hilarious. Browning in the gun back to his left. Browning takes a snap, back looking, throws, and that is going to be caught over the middle for a first down. Brought down by Kelly Ringo. We do have a flag down there, by the way. Somebody also got completely decked. That was Charlie Jones on the reception. The flag is going to go against the Eagles. It is Mac McWilliams, who's one of the corners. He's going to get dinged for illegal contact, but they're obviously going to decline that. So, yeah, but there was an Eagles Eagles defensive lineman that got absolutely wrecked and was like flipped over. Yeah, so that was not cool. But alrighty, so we got Browning lining up under center. Ball's at the 42. Browning takes a snap, hands it off, and that's going to get down into Eagles territory, down to about the 49-yard line. We are about 12:47. We do have another flag. And that is going to be offensive holding. So, yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was okay. It just kind of looked like he got flipped over. Like, it was weird. And it was just kind of like happening, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, like, who is that? And I can't even tell you who it was. They're just showing these replays of Landon Dickerson eating an Uncrustable, staring into the camera with a straight face. And that is the most hilarious thing. Alright, Browning in the gun, back to his right. Browning takes a snap, back looking, throwing, and that is going to be caught, and that is a first down. And that was, who was that? That was number 15. That was Charlie Jones again. And he was brought down. He was pushed out of bounds, actually. And that would be Adoree Jackson on that. So it's a 21-yard pickup for the Bengals. It puts them back in Eagles territory. It's 1st and 10 now from the Eagles 48. We got 12 minutes and counting left in the first half. Browning takes a snap, fakes does actually hand it off, but that's going to go nowhere. Taj Brooks was on that carry. It's going to pick up maybe a yard or 2 on that. We'll see where they actually spot it. All right, so it's a no gain. So 2nd and 10, Browning in the gun, Brooks to his right. Browning takes a snap, and he's going to get swallowed up, and we have our first sack of the game. And that would be Robinson on that sack. So big sack by Ty Robinson. Yeah, that was huge there. Supported a little bit by Joshua Uche. So we got 10, 39, 38, 37, 36 left in the first half. It is 3rd and 17. Browning's in the gun, back to his right. Browning takes a snap, back looking, throwing across the middle, and that is almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by Jahad Campbell. He's pounding the turf in frustration. That was almost intercepted. That was in and out of his hands. The intended target was Williams. That was off of his hands. And then Campbell wrapped his arms around it, and it still was kind of just slipping right through him. So it wasn't quite there. But it is going to bring up 4th and 17. That'll send the Bengals punting unit on the field. And that kick is away. And that is going to go out of bounds around the 3-yard line-ish. We'll see where they actually spot it. It's going to go out of bounds. So they're going to mark it at the 5. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles with 10:18 left to play in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. After the commercial break, still down by 4. In case you're monitoring any of the other preseason games, we have the Baltimore Ravens on top of the Indianapolis Colts. It is 14-9 over there. That game's about to go into halftime. That is inside the 2-minute warning in the first half. So former Eagle C.J. Gardner-Johnson was carted off the field today from the Texans practice. This is coming in right from Ian Rappaport. He did not tear his ACL, so that is good news for the that is good news for the Texans there. So they're still undergoing tests, but according to Rap Sheet, seems to be doing okay. So we got a timeout on the field right now. So we're on a little bit of a commercial break. It's 14-10. So far, Tanner McKee is 5 for 6 for 73 yards in the passing game. So he's got a 117.4 passer rating. No touchdowns, no picks. So we'll obviously see where that goes. This is a good opportunity for him to get some reps in that backup position. If I were a betting man, because I look at the quarterback roster, so we got Jalen Hurts, the unofficial depth chart that is published every week has Jalen Hurts followed by Tanner McKee, and then followed by Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and then Kyle McCord sharing that third slot there. Yeah, we're back from the commercial break. They're showing those replays of the Jahad Campbell almost pick. That was really, really close. That was really, really close. That should have been a pick. All right. McKee in the gun, back to his left. McKee takes a snap. He's back. He's looking, throwing, and that is caught. And that is Johnny Wilson on that. And he had contact against him like all the way down. So there is going to be a flag on this. It is defensive pass interference, but they're going to decline that, obviously, because that pass was, in fact, caught, and they got a little bit more. That was a 28-yard reception. Yeah, that was clear as day PI. So, yeah, he's grabbing his jersey. That's Davis that's going to get dinged for that. But again, obviously the Eagles will decline that. So it is 1st and 10. 9:55 left. McKee takes a snap, hands it off, and that is going to be a first down and a little bit more. And that is going to be A.J. Dillon on that. So Will Shipley getting a little bit of a break today. Shipley had 48 yards on 7 carries, so that's probably going to be the end of his day. A.J. Dillon, recent acquisition via the Packers. That's where he spent his first 4 seasons. Yeah. So we got Tanner McKee now, again, still on the field, lining up in the gun, back to his right. McKee takes a snap, hands it off to Dillon, who's going to lose about 3 on that. So they're going to get knocked back to their own 45-yard line. That's going to bring up 2nd and 13. For the Bengals, that was Stewart on the stop. 8:52, 8:51, 8:50 left in the first half. 2nd and 13, ball on the Eagles 45. McKee in the gun, back to his right. McKee takes a snap. He's back. He's losing time, and he's going to get sacked. That's a big loss for the Eagles right there. That's going to knock them back to their own 38-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 20 with 8.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Hey, E-Money, go Birds. Good to see you. Good to see you. Getting the band back together, so to speak, here. I always appreciate you guys popping over. McKee in the gun, back to his left. McKee takes a snap, back, looking, throwing. That is caught by A.J. Dillon. That is going to get back up to about the 49-yard line, but obviously nowhere remotely close to where that first down marker is going to be. So the Eagles will indubitably send the punting unit on the field. $7:39, $7:38, $7:37, $7:36 left in this first half here. Braden Mann on to give this the boot. And that is kicked away. And that is going to go out of bounds right at about the 9-yard line. They will credit him up to the 10. So preseason action for the Eagles. We have a stoppage on the field. 7:17 left in the first half. Bengals have the ball at their own 10-yard line, up by 4. 14-10 is the score. Yeah, so as I mentioned, so Will Shipley's day is probably done. 7 carries, 48 yards. So far, A.J. Dillon, 2 carries for 7 yards. So good stuff in that regard there, although losing 3 on that 1 carry was not great. And then Tanner McKee getting a sack was not really all that awesome either. But Tanner McKee is 7 for 8 for 112 yards. So we'll see how things go. The Eagles will probably, in the second half, start moving to some of the other QBs, Thompson Robinson and McCord. Probably as we get closer to the second half, we'll start to see those guys. But I will say this, it feels really good to have Eagles football back, right? Like, even if it's just preseason football, I think the Eagles fan base has been has been yearning for opportunities to see this team back on the field and to see how this team is getting better. And so this is obviously going to be a good opportunity for that. So it's this game, obviously the next few preseason games. The only opportunity fans are really going to have to see their starters is going to be on Sunday, the public practice, which has sold out. But I do have a ticket for that, so there will be coverage of the public practice. So you can look for that. coverage as well. If you've got kids, your kids could interview Jalen Hurts by joining the Eagles Kids Club. All right, we got 7:17 left in the first half. Jalen Hurts joking around with Devontae Smith there. It is 1st and 10 from, officially it's the 10-yard line, but it's a little bit inside the 10. QB in the gun, back to his right, takes a snap, does a quick handoff, gets up to about the 15, and that is going to bring up a 2nd and 5 situation. That was Taj Brooks on the carry. All right, so now it's 2nd and 5. Browning's in the gun, back to his right. 3 receivers left. Browning takes a snap, hands it off to Brooks. Brooks barely gets back to the line there. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 situation. That was Sykes there on the stop. So that was Jacob Sykes. 3rd and 5 at about 6 minutes, 6:05 really left in the first half. Browning in the gun, back to his left. Browning takes a snap. He's back. He's looking. He's got time. He throws. He's hit as he throws. But that is going to be completed just around the 30-yard line. They're probably going to get the Eagles for PI, or for roughing the passer on that one, because that hit was definitely late. Oh no, they're going to get Ricks on that one for DPI, and so that's going to be a declined penalty there. Yep, they got Eli Ricks for DPI. But that penalty was declined, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 30. Browning takes a snap, hands it off to Brooks. Brooks is going to pick up a couple, gets about 3 or 4 on that. They will credit him for 4, so it's going to be 2nd and 6 from the 34-yard line. Browning in the gun, takes a snap, does a quick dump off to Brooks. Brooks going to pick up a couple more. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 situation. That was a 3-yard pickup. Gets him up to the 37-yard line. We're inside of 5 minutes left to play in this first half. This isn't good. Sidney Brown going into the medical tent. So hopefully he's okay. Browning in the gun, back to his right. Slot to the far side. Browning takes a snap, throws to the near side, and that is incomplete. That is incomplete. Good stop there. Good recovery there by Eli Ricks. After the PI there on the earlier call. He was covering there Jones, and yep, that was nice and clean there. So Jones was asking for PI and didn't get it. So it's 4th and 3, and the Bengals punting unit comes on the field. And that is kicked away. And it's going to be caught at the 25, brought up to about the 29-yard line there. And that was, who was that? That was 18. That was Avery Williams, another one of the wide receivers. So, we do have a timeout on the field. The Eagles have the ball, still down by 4. It is 14-10, with 4:19 left to play in this second quarter. Again, if you're keeping tabs on the Ravens-Colts preseason game, that game just went to halftime. It's 21-9. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Love to hear from you over the course of this game. It's always awesome to hear from folks. Always love when I get the chance to hang out on these live streams. It's a ton of fun. Anyone do anything fun over the summer? Anyone go anywhere cool? Anyone do anything exciting? Not too much going on? Yeah. Yeah, this time of the year, things are whirring back up, right? We have those things, but yeah. What do we think about the Eagles Super Bowl rings, right? Like that was pretty cool. A little pop out there as well. A little pop out wings. Seistrom, congratulations on the new job. Yeah, things are definitely busy when you get a promotion or get a new job or anything like that. But congratulations, that's pretty cool. Yeah, things have been relatively quiet with me. So, Alaska's nice. I've never been to Alaska, so that's pretty cool. What was your favorite part about Alaska? All right, we got McKee. We're back from the commercial. 4:19 left. McKee under center, takes a snap. He's back, fakes a handoff, rolling, and is nearly picked off. Threw that across the middle and was nearly picked off. His intended target, I believe that was Darius Cooper. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was Darius Cooper. Yeah, that was Darius Cooper was the target. Yeah, that ball was tipped in the air, and McKee is very lucky that was not intercepted. Yeah, I can imagine that. 4:13 left in the first half. McKee in the gun, empty backfield. Play clock at 1. McKee takes a snap. Back, looking, throwing. That is caught, and it's going to get bounced out of bounds, and that was Anais Smith there on the reception. It is 3rd and 5 for the Eagles from their own 33, so we'll see what they do in that regard. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever been to Alaska, but I have seen photos, and it definitely looks really pretty. I've been in some of the northern areas of the country, and it's beautiful. So, 3:40 left in the first half. McKee takes a snap, looking, throwing, and that is caught by Johnny Wilson, and that is a first down. That was a big pickup there. That was about an 18-yard reception, and that was a quick throw. So Wilson showing off that speed there. Really had number 41 of the Bengals there. Was able to get some separation there at the end from Brooks. So that was good moves there. Good connection by those two guys. Pistol formation for the Eagles. McKee in the gun. Takes a snap. Back, looking, throwing. That is caught by A.J. Dillon. That is going to get into right around the 42-yard line there. Yep, they will spot that at the 42. So that's a 7-yard pickup, brings up 2nd and 3 for the Eagles. 2:40 left in the first half. Johnny Wilson going off to the sidelines there, so they're doing a little bit of rotating. Talking with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts doing a little bit of dancing there on the sideline. All right. Wilson in the gun, back to his left, takes a snap, throws, and that is caught. And that is going to get down inside to the 30, down to the 25-ish yard line goes Cooper. We'll see where they actually spot that one. That was around the 25 is where he got pushed out of bounds. But yeah, that was a pretty good wide open reception there, and then Cooper had a little bit of a slip, but was able to recover and pick up the yards after catch there. Yeah, that was Darius Cooper there on the reception. We are at the 2-minute warning now. So it is going to be 1st and 10 for the Eagles from the 26-yard line of the Bengals after the 2-minute warning. Still down by 4, but almost in the red zone. So we're just hanging out right now, obviously. Again, if you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Things are just kind of hanging out here. Again, I appreciate y'all. I am appreciating seeing some of these wide receivers that we don't get to see a lot of. Obviously, so we didn't see A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith really at all other than in sideline shots. But we certainly have seen quite a number of folks who are farther down on that depth chart there. I'm curious to see if we've seen. We've had. I've called Calcaterra's name, but I don't think it's not in a good way. Calcaterra has 1 target and no catches. So it's interesting that Tanner McKee is not as reliant on the tight ends as I would have expected him to be. The Eagles have a long history of really utilizing the tight ends very, very well. And Tanner McKee has not really been connecting with Calcaterra or with anybody who's lining up behind Calcaterra in the tight end spot. There is going to be an interview on NBC 10 with Howie Roseman. Obviously, I can't broadcast that because NFL rules, but the man, the myth, the legend, Howie Roseman, guy who put this offense together. Guy who put this team together, really. 2-time Super Bowl champ. All right, we've got McKee under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Dillon. Dillon's going to power his way through. Gets down inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. That's going to bring up a 2nd down, and it's going to bring up about 2. So 2nd and 2 for maybe 2nd and 3. And that is going to be, we do have our first timeout taken by the Bengals. So that is going to stop the clock at 1:52. Yeah, it is 2nd and 2 for the Eagles from the Bengals 18-yard line. Bengals trying to preserve some degree of clock here. Again, I don't know why, but All right, pistol formation for the Eagles. McKee in the gun, takes a snap, hands it off to Dillon. Dillon is going to get the first down, gets down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. That is an Eagles first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal, and the Bengals will take their second charge timeout. We'll stop the clock at 1:45. Good moves there by A.J. Dillon, and he just kind of, he's able to shake one defender off, and he's able to power through with another defender trying to bring him down. So, really good stuff there for A.J. Dillon. I definitely expect him to be kind of more of like a mentor-y kind of role in the running back room, especially with Will Shipley being how new he is. That'll be my bet. But the Eagles have three running backs that they can use rather effectively. McKee in the gun, Dillon behind him. McKee takes a snap, hands it off to Dillon. Dillon's going to pick up about 3 on that. He's going to fight for every yard there. So it's 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. And that will cause Cincinnati to take their final charge time out of the half. Stops the clock at 1:39. $1:39 left in this first half here. Some good showings from a lot of the guys so far. Obviously, there's going to be plenty to talk about as it relates to this this preseason game here, and as it relates to the roster. McKee lines up under center, takes a snap, does a quick throw, and that is going to be at the feet of A.J. Dillon and complete. So that is going to bring up 3rd and goal for the Eagles from the 6. So McKee takes a snap, throws across the middle, caught, touchdown, Ainias Smith. Ainias Smith hauls that one in, is able to get the touchdown. And that is going to give the Eagles the lead with 1:33 left to play in the first half, pending the outcome of this extra point. But the Eagles take a 2-point lead. Just 93 seconds left of game time. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is drilled back into the back of the goal post, and good. With 93 seconds left to play in this second quarter, the Philadelphia Eagles take a 3-point lead. It is the Eagles 17, the Bengals 14. One thing to note is that the Eagles will get the ball to start the second half. That was a 10-play, 72-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 46 seconds of game time off the clock. So, Tanner Key having a quick conversation with some of the coaches there on the sideline. He's been doing a really good job. Jake Elliott kicks this away, and that's going to get fielded at the 6. Gets brought out to the 10, 15 to the 20, up to the 24 where he's hit first, and now we have a flag, and is going to get brought down. They will mark probably forward progress stopped at about the 24-yard line is probably where they're going to mark forward progress stopped. So, They did, by the way, they called holding on Cincinnati. They called that on Key. So that is going to march them back even farther. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bengals from their own 13-yard line, actually, was where he was. So he was officially brought down at the 23, and then they're going to march him back 10 yards for the holding penalty. So we got Browning in the gun back to his right. Browning takes a snap back, looking back in the end zone, and he is going to get out of the end zone and really just winds up throwing that away. He had Uche bearing down on him. We do have a flag down, so we're going to check on that flag, obviously, but that was... It's going to be holding. It's going to be defensive holding against Johnson. Brandon Johnson, one of the corners for the Eagles, is going to get dinged for that. So that's going to give the Bengals a first down. And, it's going to march the ball forward a little bit. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 18. So we have Browning in the gun. We have a back to his left. Man in motion to the near side. 2 receivers right. Browning takes a snap. He's back. He's looking, throwing across the middle, and incomplete. Looking for Jones, and that was almost picked off, too. Like, that was a bullet. And it went past Jones and almost picked off. That was another so Brandon Johnson was there on the coverage. Yeah, Eagles had some really good coverage there. Browning in the gun, back to his left. Takes a snap, back, looking, throwing, and that is also almost picked off. Lots of near picks today. Lots of batted balls around there. Eli Ricks was that one. We got 1:10 left to play in the first half. It looks like that might have been tipped at the line, too. Just a smidge. It was definitely an off-target throw. He was looking for Burton on that. Browning takes a snap, back looking, is able to throw as he's pressured, but that's going to go nowhere. Gets up to the 20-yard line. And that was number 81 on the reception there, who is Jermaine Burton. And the Eagles will take their first timeout with 62 seconds left in this second quarter. It is 4th and 7. And we'll see whether or not we'll see what the Eagles have up their sleeves here. $62 seconds, 2 timeouts. We'll see what the Eagles try here. Nick Sirianni's all about trying to get the Eagles into particular situations. So Bengals are going to punt this away, and they do. And that is going to get fielded right around the 27-yard line. Gets brought up to the 30. And then goes up to the 35, to the 40, to the 45-50, 45-40, 35-30. Pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line is Anaya Smith. And with 45 seconds left to play in the second quarter, the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 deep in Bengals territory. They're going to officially mark him down at the 29-yard line. So they will officially mark him down at the Bengals 29. So that was a 46-yard return. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Great return there by Anaya Smith. Yep, sounds good. Good to see you, Systrom. McKee takes a snap, dumps it off to Dillon. Dillon's going to get up to the 20-yard line and is going to get pushed out of bounds there. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9, 40 seconds left. That's not good. Elijah Cooks, one of the wide receivers, is getting carted off. He's holding his head. Okay, yeah, so he's got his hand off his head at least. So he's got his knees bent. That's obviously not good. Hopefully he's okay. 40 seconds left in the first half. McKee in the gun, takes a snap, back, looking, throwing down the near sideline, and that is caught for the touchdown. And that is Cooper on that reception. That is Darius Cooper on the reception for the touchdown. And that will put the Eagles up 23-14, pending the outcome of this extra point with 35 seconds left to play in this second quarter. Knocking on the doorstep for the end of the first half here. Darius Cooper getting all kinds of kudos as he goes off to the sideline. Jake Elliott on to kick the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up. And it is good. And with 35 seconds left to play in this first half, the Philadelphia Eagles once again are on top. They extend their lead. It is the Eagles 24, the Bengals 14. At halftime, as is our custom, we will indubitably we'll talk about the various things going on. We'll do some of the stats, talk about who's doing well, who's not doing well. Obviously, these preseason halftime conversations are a little bit more interesting, to put it that way. Just given the fact that these games don't really matter in the long run. Jake Elliott on to kick this away, and that's going to get fielded at the 1, gets brought out to the 20, up to the 25, up to the 29-yard line. So it's about a 28-yard return. A 29-yard return. They will credit him up to the 30. So that's where things stand. That's where the Bengals will take over. And we've got 30 seconds left, and Bengals are just going to take the knee and send this into halftime. So we are, clock's ticking down, but we're at halftime, basically. Eagles running off into the locker room, 10 seconds left. And the Eagles are on top by 10, so we've made it half of the way through. And again, yeah, it's just awesome to see Eagles football back. Obviously, that's the biggest takeaway from this right now is Eagles football is back. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about this team and how things are going with this team, right? Because obviously, we have some things that we can talk about. The big QB of the day, because again, obviously, no real starters in keeping with Eagles custom. We don't see starters in this stretch. But we have Tanner McKee in as the quarterback for the entirety of the first half. He's been pretty good. He's been pretty good going up against even some of the Bengals first stringers. So Tanner McKee, 14 for 17, 193 yards in the passing game, 2 touchdowns. So a passer rating of 153.2. Again, that's pretty good. He did take a sack, so obviously that's not great. But that's where things stand there. As for the rushing game, we have Will Shipley, who played for much of the first quarter and into the second. He had 7 carries, 48 yards. He also had a reception for 1 yard, or reception for 4 yards there. So he's been really good. I've really liked what I've seen out of Will Shipley, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him, especially as the Eagles get into the public practice on Sunday evening. A.J. Dillon has had a strong presence as well in the run game. 5 carries for 27 yards, so he's been doing really good as well in that regard. In the passing game, we've had Darius Cooper we've had Darius Cooper with a drop. We've had Grant Calcaterra with a drop. And then we've had one just kind of like a throwaway. So again, I'm not really all that that part of that I'm not thrilled about. Those drops there, because some of those were easily catchable. But yeah, Tanner McKee is doing a really good job of connecting with his guys. And then, a lot of good production from some of these farther down on the roster guys. Johnny Wilson, John Dotson, Anais Smith. Anais Smith with a monster punt return towards the end of the first half was awesome. And then all kinds of stuff there. And then defensively, got a bunch of guys making impact on the defense. Lot of names being called for good reasons, right? So, Adoree Jackson getting in the mix quite a bit. We've had one person able to get to the quarterback so far, and that would be Ty Robinson. So Ty Robinson getting to the quarterback is always a good sign, especially we want to make sure that as Eagles fans, we want to see the team applying all kinds of pressure. So there is that. On the Bengals side, the Bengals did start a lot of their first stringers for the first quarter. So Joe Burrow was 9 for 10 for 123 yards with 2 touchdowns in that first quarter. And the Bengals have been quiet on the scoreboard since. Browning has been their other guy. He's been 6 for 10 for 62 yards. So there's been that. The standout runners so far, Chase Brown, brother of Sidney Brown, 5 carries for 23 yards, and then Taj Brooks, 5 carries for 12 yards. And then there's been a bunch of receivers who have been connected with, but definitely some things of note there. When you look at the team collectively, right now, friend of the show, Dave Spadaro, is interviewing Howie Roseman on the NBC 10 broadcast right now. So definitely feel free to, you can feel free to check that out too. But both teams about even in the first down marker, or first downs. Eagles are a little bit better in terms of net yards. Most of those yards, actually most of the difference, it looks like, is coming off of their ground game. Which is to be expected, right? The Eagles have have invested a lot of resources recently in the running game. So the fact that the Eagles are really producing there in this first half, even among those guys who are farther down on the roster, is awesome. 76 rushing yards compared to 34 for the Bengals. So that's obviously good. Right now is also the time where you want to minimize mistakes, right? You want to cut down on the number of folks who are you want to cut down on the number of errors. You want to cut down on those sorts of things. So, Eagles have only committed 2 penalties, and they have not been quite so costly. 2 penalties for 10 yards, whereas 4 penalties for 45 yards for the Bengals. So even with the Bengals starting some of their starters, right? Like that's obviously an area of concern for them. But it's a good thing for the Eagles, right? Like you're seeing those these farther down on the roster guys buckling down on what Nick Sirianni refers to as fundamentals, right? Football IQ and fundamentals are the big two of his core values. And to see these guys who are farther down on the roster buckle down and not commit as many penalties is obviously good. Definitely sound off in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you regarding your thoughts. Your thoughts about this game. Your thoughts about any of the players who are on the field. Anybody that you're excited to see in the second half. Love to hear from you guys in that regard. Eagles only having to punt once is also great, too. So, yeah, so, I mean, overall, we're just hanging out here. So, what do we think? So obviously the Eagles kick off the regular season on September 4th. And what do we think when we look at that, right? Like that's going to be a big moment for Eagles fans because that's going to be, I mean, it's a home game. It's against the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be the day where we get to unfurl the Super Bowl 59 banner. So that's going to be the first opportunity to unfurl the Super Bowl 59 banner. So when we look at that, right, like what do we think is going to be the over-under on the decibel level at Lincoln Financial Field in the lead up to that game? Right? Not talking about during the game, right? But just talking about the anticipation. A, how early are people going to get there? And B, what do we think is going to be the decibel level for that? And C, how drunk do we think the fans are going to be? Because I guarantee you there's not going to be a single person there who's sober. That's not working the game. So, love to hear from folks in that regard, too. And the other big question I have is, hey, like, what do we think is going to be, or what were your thoughts about the Eagles Super Bowl ring? Because the Eagles Super Bowl ring was, the Eagles Super Bowl ring, in my opinion, I thought that was a really cool ring, and it's always cool hearing the details about those. It's always cool hearing the details about the ring, how many different facets there are. The pop-out stuff is pretty cool, right? The pop-out with the wings and the saying, you can't be great without the greatness of others. Again, one of those Nick Sirianni-isms. So there's plenty of really cool details there. Even the homage to Brazil, where the Eagles got everything started last season. It's just an awesome experience. I think that was just a really cool ring. I think the Eagles did a really good job with that one. coming back from halftime, it looks like-ish. They're showing that replay of a really incredible Johnny Wilson grab that occurred earlier in the game, right? That one where he was using every inch of his body to get over the Bengals defender there. So Dave Spadaro talking with Nick Sirianni. We got a bot. We got a bot. We got a bot. Got to kill that bot. Gotta kill the bot. Gotta kill that bot. It's taking away the number 2 spot from E-Money on the thing there. Hang on. Bot's gonna die in a moment here, guys. Alright, bot should be dead. Alright, yep, bot's dead. Alright, we are back. And that is going to get kicked. It's going to go back through the end zone. So the Eagles will take over on their own 35. So, yeah, and that was the big new rule change was they moved the touchback line. If it goes through the back of the end zone, they moved the touchback line from the 30 to the 35. So Tanner McKee coming out there for a third quarter, or at least the start of the third quarter. Again, if you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Got McKee in the gun, back to his left. McKee takes a snap, hands it off. It's going to bounce out to the left side, gets up to the 40, and up to the 45 for the first down is Robinson. So Robinson gets a good 11 yards on that pickup. Will get marked down at the 46-yard line. So 14-42, 41-40 left in the third quarter. Keelan Robinson is on that. 5'8", 191-pound running back. It's his second year in the pros. $14-18 left in the third quarter. McKee in the gun, empty backfield. Takes the snap. He's got pressure. He's going to roll out to his right. He's going to keep rolling. He's just going to chuck that in the general direction of Robinson, but that's really not catchable and thrown away. So that's going to stop the clock at 14:08, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 situation. 2nd down and long for the Eagles there. Yeah, that didn't really have anything, and McKee was lucky to get out of that one there. Again, some really solid performance by the offensive line. Second and 10 for the Eagles. McKee under center. Man in motion to the near side. McKee takes a snap. Hands it off to Robinson. Robinson is barely going to get back to the line of scrimmage. We do have a flag down, though. So we will, of course, check on that flag. And it is going to be offensive holding. So that's going to make it 2nd and 20. They're going to get prior on that. Actually, they're going to decline that. That's my bad. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 11 for the Eagles from their own 45-yard line. McKee in the gun, takes a snap. He's back, looking, throws across the middle, caught, first down, and more gets into Bengals territory, and that is Darius Cooper on the reception. And we got 13:40 left in the third quarter, but that is an Eagles first down. Gets down, will be officially spotted at the Bengals 40, so that is a 15-yard pickup for the Eagles. McKee in the gun, back to his left. McKee takes a snap. He's back. He's going to get sacked. He's going to get knocked back a bunch there. That's going to push him back to the 50. So it's a loss of 10-ish. Loss of 9. They're going to mark him down at the 49-yard line of the Bengals. So 2nd and 19 for the Eagles following the sack. And that was just... that was Minton being pushed on his butt. That's not going to be good. That's not going to be good for him if he wants to fight for a spot on the roster there. McKee takes a snap, and he's going to throw that across the middle, and that is complete, but it's a short pass. Only going to pick up about 5 or 6 on that one. That would be Granson on that. Kylan Granson, who's one of the tight ends for the Eagles. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14. McKee in the gun, takes a snap, does a quick throw, and that's going to get across the 40. That is Granson again. That is going to bring up a 4th and 7 down at the Bengals 37-yard line. So that's going to send the Eagles special teams unit on the field. We'll see if they send their field goal unit or the punt unit. I haven't seen exactly who's out there yet, but it is going to be a 4th and 7 situation. So yeah, they're going to send Jake Elliott out there to try a 55-yard field goal. Braden Mann on the hold. Snap, hold, kick is up. And it is no good. It is wide right. Way wide right. Like, that went in, and that was like a big slice there. We do have a flag down, so we're going to check on that flag. And it is going to be on the defense. That'll give the Eagles another shot at this. It's an offside penalty. They got Ivy for offsides on the Bengals. So Jake Elliott's going to get another shot. Unless they sent the offense back out. Nah, they're going to... they sent the offense back out. Tanner McKee's out there. It's a 4th and 2 now. So McKee's in the gun. Got it back to his right. 2 receivers to the near side. McKee takes a snap. He's back, looking, throws across the middle. That is caught by Brandon Cooper, I believe that is. I'm sorry, Darius Cooper. Yep, up to the 26-yard line. That is a first down for the Eagles. So they do keep this moving along there. Nice little crossing route there by Cooper. Going from the left to the right there. McKee did a good job of leading him. All right, McKee in the gun, takes a snap, back looking, throws, and that is caught for a first down. And that is number 83 of the Eagles. That is Kylan Granson once again, the tight end. That's a 16-yard pickup, brings up first and goal for the Eagles at the 10. McKee takes a snap, hands it off to Robinson, and Robinson is not going to get anywhere on that. So that's going to bring up second and goal for from the 14. They lost 4 on that. Eagles starters, again, of the offensive line. Watching. So it is second and goal. We are at about 10:07 left in the third quarter. McKee in the gun takes a snap, back looking, throws, and that is caught by by Cooper there. I apologize. It's a 9-yard pickup. It's going to bring up third and goal from the 5. Darius Cooper there. 81 yards on 6 catches. 82 officially, my bad. 82 yards on 6 catches, 1 touchdown. 9.5 left to play in the third quarter. McKee in the gun back to his right. McKee takes a snap. Pressure coming. McKee's going to float it for Anais Smith. No good. Anais Smith was running towards the back of the end zone, and there was a little bit too much oomph on that. So that sailed through the back of the end zone, and with 9:27 left in this third quarter here, we'll see what the Eagles decide to do. It is fourth and goal from the 4. Nick Sirianni having some kind of a word with the down judge. Yeah, we're going to probably see the field goal unit come on here. Tanner McKee's coming off the field. So fourth and goal. Yep, Jake Elliott coming on. This is going to be a much more manageable field goal attempt. This is a 23-yarder. Elliott, snap, hold, kick is up, and this one is good. And with 9:24 left to play in the third quarter of this game, the Philadelphia Eagles extend the lead now. They are up by 13. It is the Eagles 27, the Bengals 14. Again, if you are new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Just hanging out here. Lots of good stuff I'm seeing. Lots of mistakes, obviously. But that's what this time is for. This time is for folks to, obviously it's for the team to work out on any of those kinds of things. Get back into game flow. While simultaneously giving some of the folks on the bubble of the 53-man roster, or some extra opportunities to try and fight for some of those spots. Obviously, the practices, and especially the joint practices, are going to be more valuable for the Philadelphia Eagles when they come to evaluate like starting folks, things like that. But there are opportunities for that. So I think the preseason tends to be more beneficial for folks who are on the edge of the 53 than it is for folks who are maybe on the edge of like first team versus second team, or second team versus third team. 9:24 left to play in the third quarter. We're back from the commercial break. That last drive was a 13-play, 61-yard drive. Took 5 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. Only resulted in 3. Only resulted in 3 points. The Eagles have only had to punt once so far this game, which is definitely a good sign there, right? Like, they're doing what they can to try to get those points there. Elliott on to kick this away, and that gets fielded around the 2, gets brought out to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, up to about the 33-ish yard line. They will actually only credit him up to the 31, so that is a 29-yard return, and that is going to bring up a Bengals first down. So the Bengals still have Browning at QB, wearing number 6. He lines up under center, back deep in the backfield. Takes a snap, hands it off, and Browning is going to get up to about the 35-yard line, and that's where he's going to get pushed. I'm sorry, that's not Browning. That's Brooks there, Taj Brooks. Gets up to the 35, so it's a 4-yard pickup. That is brought down by Smile Mondin and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Yaxman Jr. And we're inside of 9 minutes left to play in the third quarter. So we got 8:46, 8:45, 8:44, 43 left in the third. Browning in the gun, back to his left. Browning takes a snap, back looking, has some time, running out, throws it away. That might have been grounding. I would have a discussion about whether or not that's grounding there. I don't think he got outside the tackle box. Clock stopped at 8:35, so 3rd and 6. Doesn't look like it's going to be grounding. Passing complete short left, so that ball was not catchable. So Browning in the gun, back to his left. 3 receivers right, single receiver to the far side. Browning takes a snap, back looking, throwing deep, has a man, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Jones, who did wind up getting double covered there towards the end. And that is going to bring up a 4th and 6 situation for the Eagles, or for the Bengals. So they'll probably send the punt unit on. Talking right now about Eagles Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts, who has not played today, obviously, as the Bengals punt that away. And that's going to get fielded right around the 15, up to about the 20. We have the flag down, so we will check on that flag, obviously. Jalen Hurts has a 45-17 record since 2021. It is going to be a hold on the Eagles as the penalty. But that 45-17 record is the second most in the NFL, just behind the person who he beat in Super Bowl 59, Patrick Mahomes. Got another bot. I gotta kill this bot. Kill the bot. I think the bot's been killed. Those of you who are not bots, I appreciate you hanging out. That's definitely appreciated. Love hearing from you guys. Definitely drop your thoughts in the comments. As we get closer to the fourth quarter, we'll probably see some folks who are farther back on the roster. So just something to be aware of in that regard. And just as I say that, we have a new quarterback for the Eagles, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, coming in, giving Tanner McKee the rest of the game off. I'll run through McKee's stats in a minute here, but DTR lines up under center, back deep in the backfield. Smith in motion to the far side. Takes a snap, hands it off, and that is going to go nowhere. Going to lose a yard or two there on that. So they will credit him with a loss of 1. It's 2nd and 11 from the Eagles' 9. McKee's day is done. 20 for 25 on the day for 252 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got a passer rating of 135.3. 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks. And we've got another bot. Got to kill the bot. Killing the bot. $7-12 left in this game here. While I was killing the bot, I apologize. DTR threw a quick pass over. It was a 6-yard pickup, so it's 3rd and 5. DTR takes a snap, throws, and it is through the hands of Johnny Wilson. Brings you up to the 7-minute mark in the third quarter, and it is going to bring us to a 4th down and 5, and that will send the Eagles punt unit on because they're back at their own 15-yard line. So, not good. Seven minutes left in the third quarter here. This is the time of the game where the game seems to drag a little bit. Braden Mann's on to punt this away. And it's going to be fielded right around the 45-yard line, and we still got more bots. Bot has been killed. All right, here we go. So it's 1st and 10 for the Bengals from the Eagles 23-yard line. I think I've missed some plays. I'm sorry, guys. But killing the bots has not been good. All right, so it's 2nd and 8 from the Eagles 21 now after that. So we got Taj Brooks had a run. 2-yard run there. So it is 2nd and 8, 6:10 left in the third. Browning in the gun, takes a snap, hands it off. Is going to get up to about inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. That's where that was. So Browning in the gun, takes a snap, does a quick dump off, and that is going to be incomplete over to Hudson. So that's going to bring up 4th and 5. Again, I'm sorry, I know I'm missing stuff, but we've had too many problems with bots so far in this third quarter. I don't like that, so... trying to deal with those. Alrighty. It's a 36-yard field goal attempt up. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. So this is the first Bengals points since... First Bengals points of this game since the first quarter. It does narrow the Eagles' lead to 10. It is the Eagles 27, Bengals 17. So, how about them apples? Again, feel free to let me know your thoughts. Feel free to sound those off in the chat. As long as you're not a bot, you are absolutely welcome to sound off in the chat. If you are a bot, you will be banned. We're in a commercial break right now, so 5:19 left in the third quarter. It is the Eagles 27, Bengals 17. Eagles about to get the ball back after the Bengals scored the field goal. Again, I appreciate all of you hanging out here. If you're new, please feel free to like and subscribe. We try to bring you awesome Eagles content, awesome NFL content, awesome Olympics content, because flag football is part of the Olympics in a couple years. So we're going to try to bring you some awesome Olympics content, and then obviously other affiliate related and sports related content as well. We've got friend of the show Dave Spadaro on the NBC 10 broadcast of this game, talking with Eagles running back and should have been the league MVP after rushing 2,500 yards last season, the most in NFL history, Saquon Barkley. Bengals are kicking this away, and that's going to get fielded around the 7. Going to get brought out to the 15, to the 20, up to the 25, up to the 30-yard line, and we have a flag down. So we will check on that flag. Pending the flag, it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Eagles at about the 30-yard line. They got Muse on that for offensive holding, so that's going to march the Eagles back 15 yards. So that's a little bit rough there. Yeah, they've got Saquon's stats up from last season: 345 carries, 2,005 rushing yards. More bots. Bots are not allowed. Alrighty, and DTR takes the snap, hands it off, and is going to dump it off there. And that's going to be there's going to be a little bit of a pickup on that. going to actually get us up to the 34-yard line. So that's a 19-yard pickup there. That would be Powell on the run. Somebody deep in the, like super deep in the roster. DTR takes a snap, hands it off to Powell. Powell's going to cut up the middle and then runs to the near side. We do have a flag down. So that's going to bring up second down pending the flag here. Always a great sight to see, as well as Big Dom DeSandro, Eagles chief security officer and man responsible for a lot of things, including coaching operations. So Big Dom chilling in the background there of the interview with Dave Spadaro and Saquon Barkley. DTR in the gun, back to his left. Takes a snap. He's back. He's looking. He's got time. Throws across the middle. That is caught for a first down and more. Gets up to the 47-yard line. And that is number 45 of the Eagles. That's going to be Taylor Morin. And that's going to bring up an Eagles first down. We've got less than 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter here. So 1st and 10. DTR in the gun. Takes a snap. Back, looking, throws, and that is caught over the middle. And that is Morin again, I believe. And that's going to bring out... That's a little bit of a shorter gain this time. Only gets up to about the 44, 43-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 4. All right, DTR takes a snap, and he's going to hand that off, and that's really not going to go anywhere. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and short, fortunately, but it is a 3rd down situation. It's a quick dump off to Powell, who actually didn't even, like, that was a backwards pass, so the Eagles were actually, wait. Yeah, no, the Eagles did come down with it. Okay, so 3rd and 9. DTR takes a snap, dumps it off, and that is not going to go anywhere. I mean, that's going to pick up a bunch there, but that is Jenkins on the reception. E.J. Jenkins. It's a 7-yard pickup, but it's going to bring up 4th and 2, and that is going to probably send the Eagles punt unit on. Those guys laughing, joking on the sidelines. Again, if you're new here and you're not a bot, please feel free to like and subscribe. They're going to leave the offense out on the field. DTR takes the snap from the gun. He's going to throw, looking for Wilson, and that is incomplete. That's going to be a turnover on downs. That's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bengals now from their own 43-yard line. Got 1 minute and 46 seconds left in the third quarter here. Eagles still on top by 10, though, so it is 27-17. first and 10 from the 44 when we come back here. So DTR so far 4 for 6 for 44 yards in the passing game. Again, Tanner McKee's night is done, 20 for 25 through about 2.5 quarters. 20 for 25, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks, no picks, 135.3 passer rating. He also had 1 carry for 1 yard. So, and that was the tush push earlier in the game that gave the Eagles their first score. Talking about the Eagles' public practice, which is going to happen on Sunday. If you're going to the public practice, sound off in the chat. Love to hear from you. Love to see you if you're going. $1:46 left to play. We're coming back from the commercial break. Bengals will have the ball after the turnover on downs. Browning in the gun, takes a snap, hands it off, and that's going to pick up about 2 there. That would be Taj Brooks there on the carry. Quick reminder about the Eagles' first 5 draft picks. So Jahad Campbell, we had Drew Makuba in the 2nd round. Ty Robinson came up in the 4th round. Mac McWilliams and Smile Mondin came up in the 5th round, respectively there. So those are the Eagles' first 5 picks of this year's draft. Browning in the gun. We got it back behind him. And I think we got a false start here. Yep, they're saying false start. We got 61 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. They got Rame on the false start. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Andrew Rame, yep. Yeah, they have a note here. It says rhymes with game. So, Browning under center, takes a snap, back, looking, and he's going to get sacked. He's going to get a big sack there. Going to lose about 5. We do have a flag down, so we're going to check on the flag, obviously. Yeah, that's going to go against the Eagles. It's illegal contact, so it does nullify the sack. It does give the Bengals a first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Bengals from their own 46. So they got Woods on that. So Browning now lining up under center. We got a back deep in the backfield. Slot to the far side. Browning takes a snap. He's back. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw, and that's picked off. Gets down to the 30, down to the 25, to the 20 with a flag down. But that was number 48. That would be Patrick Johnson on that flag, or on that interception. Again, pending the flag. And the flag is going to go against the Bengals, so that's obviously not going to be enforced. The Eagles are going to decline that one. And that is going to be an Eagles first down following the turnover. That is the first turnover of this preseason. Yeah, it looks like it was... Yeah, Robinson did a good job of getting his hands in there. Tipping that ball up, deflecting it, and then catching it. I'm sorry, Johnson there. And... got down into the 20. So the Eagles have 1st and 10 from the red zone with 27 seconds left in the third quarter. DTR takes a snap, fakes a handoff, throws, caught inside the 10 down to about the 5-yard line. Goes number 84, E.J. Jenkins. So that's going to be first and goal. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 7. And with 10 seconds left in the third, that's going to send us to the final 15 minutes of play here. We are right at the end of the third quarter, so 15 minutes left in this first preseason game. Eagles up by 10, and in a first and goal situation, it is the Eagles 27, the Bengals 17. And obviously, my hope right now, obviously we've got some, what we want is we want some good stuff going on, right? Like we want the Eagles to, we want the Eagles players to really show their stuff. We want them to be able to do some really awesome things. And I think that was actually, that is the first turnover. That is the first turnover by either team this game. So DTR did fumble. So that one, it was a backwards pass, so it wasn't caught. So it was a fumble. And then it was recovered by Williams. But that was the first interception of this preseason. So Patrick Johnson obviously doing what he can to try to make that roster, make that 53-man roster. The penalty on the interception was an illegal shift, so it was an illegal. They got Tinsley on the Bengals for an illegal shift. That penalty was declined. So there's that. DTR in the third quarter, 5 for 7, 57 yards. He's got a 95.5 passer rating. They're calling this the Rav fourth quarter, which in my opinion doesn't have quite as much of a ring to it as the Rav fourth inning, right? Like the Rav 4, the Eagles have Toyota as a sponsor, so that's why they're calling it that. But yeah. DTR in the gun, empty backfield. Takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get up to the line of scrimmage and nothing there. So that's going to bring up second and goal from the 7, most likely. We'll see where they officially spot him. Second and goal from the 7. It was no gain. $14:36, 35, 34 left in this game. Pistol formation for the Eagles. DTR in the gun. Back behind him. Takes a snap. Hands it off. And that's going to get up to about the 5, maybe the 4, depending on where they spot it. But that's going to bring up a third and goal situation. So third down and short for the Eagles. We've got 14 minutes left in this game. DTR in the gun, back to his left. Slot to the near side. Takes a snap, back, looking, throwing for the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Johnny Wilson. Could not find him. Could not connect. Just in and out of his hands. Like off of his fingertips. So it was definitely a little bit of a high throw. And that is going to bring up fourth and goal from the Bengals 5. And I wouldn't. And yeah, they're going to send the field goal unit on. So Eagles able to kind of capitalize on the interception. Obviously, they don't get the touchdown, but they are going to try for a field goal here. Jake Elliott on to attempt a 15-yarder. Actually, not quite that. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. We do have a flag down, though. Initial indications look like it's going against the Bengals, which may send the off. Yep, it's going against the Bengals because they're sending the offense back out on the field. But there we go. All right, bot's been taken care of. Yeah, that was unnecessary roughness on the Bengals, so it does give the Eagles a fresh set of downs. DTR in the gun, takes a snap, hands it off. There is your touchdown. That would be Powell on the run, and it is an Eagles touchdown. It was a 2-yard run after they have to distance the goal penalty. Shanderick Powell on the run. And Jake Elliott on to attempt the extra point. Snap, hold, kick, and it is up, and it is good. With 13:39 left to play in this game, the Philadelphia Eagles have retaken the lead, or re-extended their lead, I apologize. It is the Eagles 34, the Bengals 17. Again, obviously, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Love to hear from you. If it's your first time here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. If you're a bot, go away. I don't want you. I've already dealt with you enough. So definitely something to think about is, I mean, based off of what I'm looking at here, I mean, the strong indication that I have is that Tanner McKee is definitely QB2. The fact that he played most of this game, that he started this game, and that he was playing with guys who have been, or with a lot of the guys, especially some of the guys who have the chance to maybe sub in for like A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith if they need to have a rest there. The fact that I've seen more of those guys out there with Tanner McKee is my indication that Tanner McKee really is like actually QB2. So something to be aware of there. I know there was some discussion about whether or not it would be Tanner or DTR, but I don't think that was really a contest anyway. And even if it was, it is no longer a contest. Back from the commercial, we got 13:39 left in the game. Jake Elliott kicks this away. That's going to get fielded at the 1. Gets brought out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 24-yard line is where he's going to get brought down. And that is going to be where the Bengals pick things back up. That would be Williams on the return. It was a 23-yard return. And we got 13:33 left in the game. I think we may have a new QB. I'll check that in a second. Takes a snap. No, that's still Browning. Hands it off to Brooks. Brooks is going to pick up about 2 or 3 on that. $13:20 left in this game here. Clock is running, which is obviously the big thing here. Keep that clock moving. 2nd and 7. So that was a 3-yard pickup there for Brooks. 2nd and 7. We're at about the 13-minute mark. Browning in the gun, back to his right. It's not Browning anymore. Takes a snap, back, looking, throwing, and that was tipped at the line and incomplete. That's Ritter, by the way. It would be Desmond Ritter now in a QB. So even the Bengals are now down to moving on to their third stringers. Bengals did start the first quarter with their first stringers. Eagles have not played really any of their first stringers who aren't new to the team. Ritter in the gun, back to his right. 3 receivers left. Ritter takes a snap. Back, looking, throwing. And that is incomplete. He was looking for Burgess. Burgess is looking for a flag. And we do have a flag down here. So there's Parry Nickerson on the coverage there. And we'll see what they actually call. Yeah, that's DPI, so. The Eagles have evened things up in the penalty department in this second half. Eagles now have 7 penalties for 55 yards so far this game. As the Bengals take the snap and hand it off, and that's going to be brought down about 5 yards. It's going to be a 5-yard pickup there. That would be Brightwell on the carry. Bengals still have the Eagles, are still a little bit ahead of the Eagles in the penalty yardage department. But both teams have gotten some penalties so far. 12:15 left in the game. Ritter under center takes a snap. Fakes the handoff, back, looking, throwing, and that is caught right at the line of scrimmage, and that goes nowhere. And that was Parry Nickerson once again there. So 11:55 left in this game. Again, most important thing in the fourth quarter is keep the clock running. Fourth quarter in the preseason game especially, right? These guys should simulate opportunities where there are no timeouts left. So 11.5 minutes left to play. Ritter in the gun, back to his left. Ritter takes a snap, back looking, throws, and that is incomplete. It was thrown at basically it was at the feet of number 87 Tanner Hudson, tight end, and he was down on the ground immediately following that. He was double covered, so it is 4th and 5. Yeah, there was a hit right there, and then he got hit again, so 4th and 5 does send the Bengals punting unit on. Ball's on the 42, 43-yard line-ish. So the punt is away, and that's going to get fielded at about the 18. Gets brought to the 20, up to the 25. And we got more bots here. I do not like bots. Bots are no good. Bots should go away. Goodbye. Alrighty. 11:13 left to play in this game. Eagles still on top, 34-17. The Eagles will have the ball on their own 25. That was a 7-yard return by Williams. Some of the standouts here, again, just players that I'm looking at. Darius Cooper has had a really good day. 6 catches on 7 targets for a touch, or including one for a touchdown. 82 yards, it looks like. Yeah, that's 82 yards. Johnny Wilson, 3 for 6. 3 catches on 6 targets today, 73 yards. More in there towards the end. 2 catches on 2 targets for 30 yards. Anaya Smith is the only other Eagles receiving touchdown. Now we've got Kyle McCord coming in. So Kyle McCord will come in to probably round this game out. So DTR's day is done. DTR was 5 for 8 for 56 yards. No touchdowns. No picks. And we have a false start. They're going to get Miles Hinton for the false start. DTR had no sacks, so that's definitely a stat going in his direction. So Kyle McCord lines up in the gun. It's going to be 1st and 15 from the Eagles' 20, back to his right. McCord takes a snap, hands it off. It's going to turn up field, gets up to the original line of scrimmage, and maybe an extra yard after that, and we do have another flag down. So, and this one is also going against the Eagles, so that's going to negate the Keelan Robinson run there. They got holding again on Hinton, Miles Hinton, so that's obviously not a good look for Hinton there. As we keep having bots, and I need to stop the bots. Okay. That bot, I believe, has been stopped. McCord takes a snap, hands it off, and that's going to get a bunch there. That gets up to about where's that going? Yeah, that gets up to the 24-yard line-ish, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 11 following the 2 penalties. McCord takes a snap. He's got time. He's going to roll to his right. He's throwing, and that is in and out of the hands of Robinson there. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 sticks. 3rd down, 2 sticks for the Eagles. .10:06 left to play in the game. McCord in the gun. Back to his right. McCord takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. Thrown across the middle, and that is picked off. Picked off, and he's keeping on going down to the 25-20. Down to the 15-10-5 touchdown. And who is that? That would be Joe Giles Harris was on the interception there. Yeah, no, that looked like it might have hit the ground, but on the replay, no, it did not. That was, yeah. And then the Eagles just simply couldn't bring him down. So not a good look there. It was kind of like off the face mask of, who was that? Muma Jongmeta. So, but yeah, ultimately Giles Harris picked it up, and it was that one might actually be coming back there. Yeah, they're probably going to say, yeah, I think they're going to say he was down. He was down by contact. So, yeah, they're taking a look at it up in the booth, but I think this is, the interception stands, but it's not going to be a score. So I think I'm reasonably confident in saying that that's not a score. Just hanging out here again. If you're new here and you're not a bot, please feel free to like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel. If you are a bot, I'm just going to wind up banning you. So, yeah, so they just announced it. Yeah, it's going to be 10 minutes left. Yeah, they're saying he was down by contact after the interception, so. And we did have an injury on the play, too, so that didn't help the Eagles. But we do have 10 minutes left in the game. It's 1st and 10. Ball's on the Eagles' 35. Bengals have the ball. Bengals are down by multiple scores. We've got Ritter in the gun with a back to his left. Slot to the near side. Ritter takes a snap. He's back. He's looking. He's throwing to the far side, and that is incomplete. Just out of the reach of Pryor, number 19, Pryor. And that is going to bring up a 2nd and 10 situation for the Bengals. $9:55 left to play in the game here. Some of these guys who are on the field, I'm going to be very honest right now, they're only playing for their families. Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Ritter takes a snap. Back, looking, throwing, and incomplete. He was looking for number 14 there, who is Moore. On the coverage there was A.J. Woods. So 9:50 left to play in the game. See if the Eagles can't force a quick 3 and out here. 3rd and 10. Ball still on the 35. Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Slot to the near side. Ritter takes a snap. Back, looking, throwing, and that is caught. And that is going to really not get a whole lot after the catch there. That was Moore, who was trying to get out of the way of the Eagles defenders, and the Eagles defenders just kind of crashed in on him. It was a pickup of 2. The credit for the tackle will go to Castro Fields. So that'll be Tariq Castro Fields. There, one of the corners. And that's going to be 9-18, 9-17, 16 left to play in the game here as the field goal unit comes onto the field. Nine minutes left. Snap, pulled kick is up, and it is good. Just narrowly slicing inside the left upright. And that will narrow the Eagles' lead by just a little bit. With 8:58 left to play in this game, the Philadelphia Eagles are still on top by 2 touchdowns. It is the Eagles 34, the Bengals 20. Highlighting right now, Eagles Hall of Famer Eric Allen, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame last week, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Eric Allen, a huge contributor. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, 1989 first-team All-Pro. He had All-Pro. He was with the Eagles from 1988 to 1994. He had 34 interceptions in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles, tied for the most in team history. So Eagles Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee Eric Allen there. As the Bengals kick this off, it's going to get fielded at the 1. Gets brought out to the 5, 10, 15, 20, to the 25, to the 30, and up to about the 33-yard line. So at least so far, just based off of one preseason game, if the goal of the NFL was to encourage more teams to return kicks, which was the goal last season, this season it seems to be working a little bit better. Yeah, Eric Allen, 54 interceptions, 8 touchdowns on his career. So McCord in the gun, back to his left. McCord takes a snap, quick dump off, and that's going to be Powell, and gets up about 5 yards there on that. 1st and 10 from the 33. Actually, that's going to bring up 2nd and 6 now. I apologize, from the 37. So 8, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15 left in the game here. McCord in the gun, takes a snap, throws across the center, and that is caught, and that is a 1st down, and that is Jackson on that reception. That is Giles Jackson. Keep seeing bots Bots gotta go away. Goodbye. McCord, under center, takes a snap. He's back. He is looking. Pressure's coming. He's dodging the pressure. He's throwing, and it was caught but out of bounds. So, not caught. Was looking for more in there on the reception, and 7:26 left to play in the game, but that is an incomplete pass. It looks like number 67 just got beat. Lakin Vakalahi. There, just kind of got beat on that line. So, McCord in the gun, pistol formation. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Powell. Powell gonna roll out to his left and gets up to about the 49-yard line. So it's gonna bring up a third down and about 7. They're gonna actually credit, 3rd and 6. They do credit him to the 49-yard line. So 7:05, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7 minutes left in this game. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Neither team should use all 3 timeouts. Just keep things going. McCord in the gun. We have an empty backfield. 3 receivers right. McCord takes a snap, throwing, and that is overthrown. Way overthrown. Number 45, Taylor Moore in there. So, stops the clock at 6:40. And brings up 4th and 6, and that's going to send the Eagles punt unit on. Again, if you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. We try to bring you Eagles content on a regular basis. I've had some very engaging interviews over the course of the last few weeks. Braden Mann is on to punt this away. If you're a bot, and I've seen a lot of bots here so far in this stream, if you're a bot, go away. I don't want you. But if you're a real person, please subscribe. That is going to get fair caught about the 7 or 8 yard line. They will credit him at the 8. That would be Williams there. So that is where the Bengals will take over. Bengals still down by 2 touchdowns. And we've got 6.5 minutes-ish left in this game. 6:33 to be precise. Alright. Shotgun back to his right. Takes a snap. That's Ritter. Hands it off. And that is going to go nowhere. Picks up a yard or 2. We've got 6:17, 6:18, 15, 14, 13 left in this game. It is 2nd and 8. So the ball's on the 10-yard line. All right, we've got Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Man in motion. Ritter takes a snap. He's back. He's looking. He's throwing. He's going deep. He has a man, and it is caught. And it is going to be definitely a big first down there for Mays. 1st and 10. It gets all the way up to the Eagles' 42-yard line. That was a monster of a throw there. It was a 48-yard reception. It was brought down by Nickerson. But Nickerson just got beat on the coverage there. So Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Takes a snap. He's throwing deep again, throwing in the direction of Nickerson. Throwing towards Mays, and that is incomplete this time. Way overthrown. That does stop the clock at 5:11. Yep, look, Eagles are in the lead. Systrom, welcome back. definitely in the lead there by 2 scores. And then the Ravens beat the Colts, by the way, in the event anybody was paying any attention to that game. 24-16 was the final score. Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Ritter takes a snap. He hands it off, and that's going to get up to about the 39-yard line. We are coming up on 5 minutes left in this game. We just hit that 5-minute mark. 59, 58, 57, 56, 55 left in the game here. So it's 3rd and 8. Ball's on the Eagles' 40-yard line. Ritter is in the gun. We have an empty backfield. 3 receivers left. Ritter takes the snap. He's back. He's looking. He's throwing, and that is going to be caught. No, it is not. It's out of his hands. Incomplete. It was right at the first down marker. He was looking for... Who was he looking for? He was looking for Cole Burgess, the wide receiver. But nothing coming there. So it is going to be 4th and 8 now for the Bengals from the Eagles' 40-yard line. Offense is staying out on the field. Ritter's in the gun. Empty backfield. Ritter takes a snap. Back looking, throwing, and that is going to be caught for a first down and a bunch more. Gets down about the 20 to the 18-yard line. And that is Hudson on the reception. Tanner Hudson. So... that is going to set up a 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 19. After that, that's a 21-yard pickup brought down by Hook for the Eagles. That would be Maxon Hook. So Ritter in the gun, back to his left. Ritter takes a snap, throws, and that is going to be caught down around the 12. And that is Hudson again. And he's going to get pushed out of bounds right around the 12-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 3. Clock is stopped at 3:38 left in the game. So it is 2nd and 3. Ritter in the gun, back to his left. Ritter takes a snap. He's back. He's looking. He's going to throw for the end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown. And that is Hudson on the reception. In the coverage there was Hook. But, yep, that is a touchdown for the Bengals. Yep, they're showing the replay right now. He definitely has 2 feet in bounds. Yeah, the foot comes down before it, and then kind of like skids into the out of bounds marker. So it is a 3:33 left in the game, but that touchdown stands. All right, the Bengals are on to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. With 3:33 left to play in this game, the Eagles' lead is down to just 1 touchdown. It is the Eagles 34, the Bengals 27. One guy we haven't talked about quite as much on the defensive side of the football, certainly, is Jahad Campbell, who has, and I think mostly the reason for that is because he hasn't had a primary tackle, but he does have 3 combined tackles so far this game. So, just a player to watch there. Obviously, Eagles nabbing him with the number 31 overall pick. All right, 3:33 left Eagles are about to get the ball. Both teams do have all 3 timeouts. And the kick is away. And that's going to get fielded at about the 1, gets brought out to the 20, up to the 24-yard line is where he's going to get hit and dropped. So that is where the Eagles will take over. It was actually fielded, officially it was fielded at the goal line. So it was a 24-yard return. And it's going to be 1st and 10 now for Kyle McCord and company, with 3:28 left to play in the game. McCord under center, man in motion towards the far side. McCord takes a snap, hands it off to Powell. Powell's going to get up to the 30, gets up to the 35, up to the 40. I'm sorry, I said Powell, I meant Robinson. We do have a flag down. And it is going to be an offensive penalty. So that is going to march the Eagles back. Trying to figure out who they called that on. Yeah, they called holding on Williams, number 73. So that's going to march the Eagles back. McCord takes a snap, hands it off, and it's going to get up to not a whole lot there. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and like 2 sticks situation, obviously. We are approaching the 3-minute mark in this game. 2nd and 13 from the Eagles' 21. 2:50, 49, 48, 47, 46 left in the game here. 2nd and 13. McCord under center, back in the backfield. Man in motion to the far side. McCord takes a snap, hands it off, and that's going to go nowhere. Gets dropped in the backfield is Robinson there. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 18 situation from the Eagles' 16-yard line. Eagles are marching backwards on this drive. Bengals did take their first charged timeout of the half. So they are now down to 2 remaining. Clock is stopped at 2:35. McCord in the gun, back behind him. McCord takes a snap, hands it off, gets up to about the 20, and that's it. Doesn't even come anywhere close to the 1st down marker, so that's going to bring up 4th down and 2 sticks. Gets up to the 20, so it's going to be probably about a 4-yard pickup-ish. They will credit him to the 21, so it's going to be 4th and 13, but because it's still 4th down and 2 sticks, they're going to send the punt unit on. 2.5 minutes left in this game. That is 150 game seconds. Braden Mann on to punt this away. And gives it the boot. And it's a booming punt. Going to get fielded at the 15-yard line. Gets brought out to the 20, up to the 25, up to the 30. up to about the 35-yard line is where the Bengals finally get dropped. That was a boomer of a punt there. We do have a flag down, and that is going to go against the Bengals, so that's going to march them back even farther. Bengals are taking their second charge timeout of the half. Stops the clock at 2:16. Illegal block above the waist is the penalty. And that would be Zhang Meta. All right, so Ritter in the gun, empty backfield. Ritter takes a snap, throws to his left, and that is incomplete, off the hands of number 16 for the Bengals, who is Jamal Mays. We're highlighting Eagles GM Howie Roseman right now. Second and 10 for the Bengals from their own 20. Ritter in the gun, back to his right. Ritter takes a snap. He's back looking, throws across the middle, and that is through the hands of Mays again. So that is going to bring up third down, and we have more bots. Story of my life here in this game, so we're going to shut that down. Ritter in the gun, empty backfield. Ritter takes a snap, back, looking, throwing, and that is caught. And does a little bit of a leap there. It's not a Saquon Barkley backwards leap, but he does a little leap over a hook, but doesn't get much farther than that. Only picks up 1 on that, so it is 4th and 9 for the Bengals from their own 21, and we have hit the 2-minute warning. Two minutes left in this game. Eagles up by a touchdown. Bengals probably going to send their punt unit on the field. Obviously, we'll see what happens in a moment here in that. Anything stand out to you about this game? Anything, any players? I know we talked about a bunch of them over the course of this game, but any players stand out to you? If so, definitely shout those out in the chat. Love to hear from you. Saying the player of the game is Tanner McKee, which is, I mean, it's super obvious, right? Tanner McKee, 20 for 25 in this game. 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks. He's got no interceptions. Got a passer rating of 135.3 this game, so. Yeah. Just waiting around here. Final 2 minutes of this game. Again, I appreciate you all hanging out. If you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts chilling on the sideline, watching his teammates. They're just doing their thing. Ritter in the gun, back to his left. Ritter takes a snap. He's back, looking, throwing, and that is going to be incomplete. So it is a turnover on downs. So the Eagles will take over. And given that the clock is inside the 2-minute warning, I would expect nothing other than victory formation, except, oh no, they're going to run some plays. McCord's going to take the snap from under center, going to hand it off to Robinson. Robinson's going to pick up a yard there. We are inside of 2 minutes, 1:15 left to play in the game here. McCord under center, takes a snap, hands it off to Robinson. Robinson's going to get dropped from the backfield. It's going to lose 4 yards on that. That's going to take us to 60 seconds left in this game. It is going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 situation, so 3rd down, 2-6. But at a certain point, I mean, it doesn't really matter here, right? They just got to get it down inside of 40 seconds, and that's going to be the game. They don't have to run a play after that. And 3, 2, 1. All right, we're inside of 40 seconds. Eagles have the ball. They're going to let this clock run down as much as possible, I would suspect. 3rd and 12. No, pistol formation. McCord's going to take the snap, hand it off to Robinson. Robinson's going to get dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe loses a yard on that. But there is absolutely no reason to run another play here, guys. Absolutely no reason. We got 15 seconds left in this game. And with that, the Philadelphia Eagles have won their first preseason game, defeating the Cincinnati Bengals by a final score of 34-27. All right, 1 game of Eagles football down. Everything's good. Everything's looking good. Definitely a lot of good stuff going on with these players. It's a good look at some of the guys who are farther down on the roster. Loved seeing that. So definitely some good stuff there. Got plenty more Eagles content, so if you're new here, please feel free to like and subscribe. Again, really helps the channel out. Really helps us continue to bring you awesome Eagles coverage, awesome NFL coverage, plenty of other coverage out there. So definitely feel free to do that. Otherwise, the next preseason game is a week from Saturday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream that one. I will see what I'm doing on that regard there. But otherwise, yeah, just a great time, and I appreciated everybody hanging out. It was quite the fun day, and we'll cover. We've got plenty more to cover as well. We've got public practice coming up on Sunday. Plenty more things coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for all of that. But that's going to do it for me for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Joe Donahue. This is Bird's Nest Media, and as always, let's go.